In the realm of aviation, turbulence is a persistent factor. However, the current state of the industry is encountering an unprecedented crisis as the demand for air travel surges. A recent report indicates that by 2032, the global demand for pilots will surpass the available supply by over 600,000. This alarming statistic merely scratches the surface of a more profound and systemic issue. What accounts for the industry's struggle to keep pace with its own expansion, and what implications does this hold for the future of air travel? The core of any airline operation is its personnel, the pilots who navigate the skies, the mechanics who ensure engines operate smoothly, and the air traffic controllers who manage takeoffs and landings. Yet, the aviation sector is grappling with a significant challenge: a critical shortage of skilled workers. It is increasingly common for passengers to experience flight delays attributed to unforeseen circumstances, a situation that is becoming all too familiar in today's aviation environment due to the pilot shortage. The reasons behind this deficit are multifaceted. Many seasoned pilots, who commenced their careers during the industry's growth phase, are now nearing the mandatory retirement age, creating an urgent demand for new talent. As these experienced professionals retire, the industry faces considerable difficulty in replacing their knowledge and expertise. To underscore the gravity of this situation, consider the experiences of major airlines such as American Airlines and Delta. Both carriers have had to cancel flights and scale back their schedules due to a shortage of available pilots, and in some instances, they have resorted to hiring retired pilots on a temporary basis to address the gaps. Regional carriers are facing significant challenges, often finding it difficult to compete with larger airlines in attracting and retaining qualified personnel. The diminishing number of available pilots has a cascading effect, resulting in existing staff being overworked, which in turn leads to fatigue and raises potential safety concerns as pilots manage an increased number of flights and extended hours. The lessons learned from the mass resignations of 2021 and 2022 highlight the critical importance of providing employees with a positive work experience. The transportation sector was among the top 5 industries most affected by this wave of resignations, with many individuals citing factors such as inadequate pay, limited opportunities for advancement, lack of flexibility, and an overall unsatisfactory work environment. This situation is particularly pronounced for women, people of color, and members of the LGBTQ community. Over 90% of aviation mechanics are male, with more than half identifying as white, and it is statistically evident that white male mechanics tend to earn more than their female, Black, Asian, Hispanic, or Latino counterparts. For individuals in these minority groups, the industry can appear unwelcoming and less likely to provide equitable compensation. Regrettably, these same challenges are exacerbating the shortage of aviation mechanics. The job often entails a physically demanding work environment, exposure to adverse weather conditions, and a lack of appeal compared to less strenuous remote positions. By implementing more flexible work schedules and ensuring equitable pay irrespective of gender, race, or ethnicity, the aviation industry could alleviate its mechanic shortage. However, it is important to note that becoming a pilot involves more than simply acquiring flying skills. Becoming an aviation engineer or mechanic entails a distinct commitment compared to pursuing a career as a pilot, which typically involves significant initial expenses but often leads to favorable job opportunities. While financial investment is indeed a factor, the dedication required to obtain the necessary qualifications is equally important. Aspiring professionals must endure extensive training, often spanning several years, to gain expertise in aircraft maintenance or engineering. Upon securing employment, they may encounter relatively modest entry-level salaries, which can sometimes be lower than those offered in other technical sectors or even outside the aviation field. This reality can be a challenging proposition for many young individuals considering their career paths. Nevertheless, the demand for qualified mechanics and engineers in the aviation sector is on the rise. With the global fleet of commercial aircraft projected to expand significantly in the coming decade, the urgency for maintenance professionals has intensified. Airlines are currently facing delays in the delivery of new aircraft models and are opting to extend the operational life of older jets, placing immense pressure on maintenance teams. These teams require specialists proficient in the latest technologies found in new aircraft, such as the Boeing 787 and Airbus A350, as well as those capable of troubleshooting and repairing older models like the Boeing 767 and Airbus A330. This demand extends beyond mere engine repairs and avionics checks. It encompasses the critical aspects of safety, reliability, and adherence to stringent aviation regulations. The presence of aircraft in the sky signifies a sophisticated network of systems that necessitate ongoing oversight and skilled personnel to ensure their safe and efficient operation. Research indicates that the application rates for young individuals pursuing technical roles have decreased by 49% from 2020 to 2022. This disparity between the availability of qualified candidates and the demand for them has led airlines to struggle in staffing cockpits, resulting in flight cancellations, reduced service routes, and heightened pressure on operational efficiency. While the roles of aviation engineers and mechanics may not possess the same allure as piloting an aircraft, they are undeniably essential. The industry relies on these professionals to maintain the functionality of everything from military jets to commercial airliners traversing the globe. Moreover, the aviation sector faces another significant challenge: the escalating costs and the urgent need to mitigate its environmental impact. Aviation is a substantial source of greenhouse gas emissions, and as climate change concerns grow, so does the scrutiny of the industry's ecological footprint. Regulatory authorities around the world are implementing stricter emission regulations, carbon taxes, and emissions trading schemes, compelling airlines to adopt measures to lower their carbon emissions or risk incurring financial penalties. In response to these challenges, airlines are pursuing various strategies to manage both economic and environmental risks. A primary approach involves investing in newer, fuel-efficient aircraft, such as the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and the Airbus A350, which are engineered to significantly reduce fuel consumption per passenger, thereby offering considerable savings. Cost savings throughout their operational lifetimes are crucial. However, smaller airlines encounter distinct challenges due to their limited resources and tighter budgets. They are more vulnerable to economic downturns and competitive pressures, making them susceptible to fluctuations in the economy and competition from larger carriers. Every dollar spent, whether on financing, expanding routes, or maintaining aircraft, can significantly impact their viability in the industry. This creates a challenging balancing act that determines their ability to remain competitive or risk being overtaken by larger entities. Moreover, there is a growing emphasis on the development of alternative fuels in aviation. Sustainable aviation fuels, SAFs, derived from sources such as biofuels, present an opportunity to reduce carbon emissions from flights. Currently, SAFs are more expensive and face challenges in scaling production, but ongoing innovations are aimed at increasing their adoption in the future. Transitioning to greener aviation practices is not without its difficulties. Scaling up SAF production to meet global demand poses significant challenges, and establishing the necessary infrastructure for fuel distribution and storage requires substantial investments and collaboration among various stakeholders. For travelers, these initiatives may result in minor adjustments during their journeys, such as more efficient flight paths, quieter engines, or options to offset carbon emissions during the booking process. Nevertheless, the overarching objective remains clear: to balance the imperative of profitability with the responsibility of environmental stewardship. The COVID-19 pandemic served as a significant disruptor, grounding planes, emptying airports, and leaving airlines with substantial financial losses. Even as travel begins to recover, airlines continue to grapple with enormous debts and reduced revenue. The pandemic has significantly affected the industry, revealing its vulnerability to global crises and its capacity to recover despite challenges. Pete Bunds, President and CEO of the General Aviation Manufacturers Association, GAMA, highlighted several factors contributing to workforce difficulties, primarily stemming from the extensive changes instigated by COVID-19. He noted that societal shifts have resulted in a reduced workforce in the industry, as many individuals have either retired or transitioned to different sectors. Bunds expressed concern over the industry's current struggles, stating that it is facing considerable headwinds. As we address the escalating costs and obstacles confronting the aviation sector, it is essential to focus on another vital issue: the regulatory challenges and compliance expenses that complicate progress. The industry operates within a complex framework where every flight operation, from aircraft maintenance to crew training, is governed by a detailed array of local, national, and international regulations. At the heart of these challenges are the evolving and intricate demands of regulatory compliance. The aircraft certification process, for example, necessitates strict adherence to the safety and performance standards established by civil aviation authorities, CAAs, such as the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, in the United States and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, EASA, in Europe. These certifications are crucial not only for market access but also for ensuring that aircraft comply with rigorous safety requirements. Boeing's experience serves as a prominent illustration of the difficulties associated with regulatory compliance, particularly following the crashes of the 737 MAX aircraft. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, grounded the entire fleet due to safety concerns linked to software malfunctions. This grounding led to considerable financial repercussions for Boeing, stemming not only from the suspension of sales and deliveries but also from the expenses incurred in certifying the aircraft. The company was compelled to make substantial investments to address regulatory challenges and to restore its reputation, underscoring the significant stakes involved in adhering to regulatory standards. Airspace management represents another critical domain, especially with global air traffic projected to double by 2037. Efficient management of airspace is essential, requiring collaborative efforts among airlines, air navigation service providers, ANSPs, and regulatory authorities to optimize air traffic flow, reduce delays, and improve overall efficiency in an increasingly crowded airspace. The progression of safety regulations is equally important, as continuous technological advancements and operational practices demand regular updates to safety management systems, SMS, and operational protocols. Compliance with these evolving standards necessitates considerable investments in training, infrastructure, and safety audits to mitigate operational risks and maintain the highest safety standards for both passengers and crew. Despite these initiatives, navigating the regulatory landscape remains a costly endeavor, as airlines must allocate significant resources to ensure compliance with various jurisdictions, each possessing its own regulatory requirements and enforcement mechanisms. The administrative challenges faced by the aviation industry encompass operational planning, regulatory reporting, and the maintenance of detailed safety records to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements. The sector currently finds itself at a pivotal moment, striving to balance regulatory compliance with operational efficiency, safety, and environmental objectives. The manner in which airlines navigate these regulatory challenges and associated costs, while simultaneously promoting innovation and maintaining profitability, will significantly influence the future trajectory of aviation. The strategies adopted will determine how airlines adapt and prosper in the face of regulatory and technological transformations. Moreover, alongside these advancements, there exists a substantial and escalating threat: cybersecurity risks. The aviation industry is becoming increasingly dependent on digital systems for various functions, including flight operations, passenger services, and maintenance activities. While this digital evolution has optimized processes and improved the passenger experience, it has simultaneously rendered airlines and airports vulnerable to cyber threats that can disrupt operations, compromise data integrity, and diminish consumer trust. Cybersecurity incidents in aviation can have extensive repercussions. For instance, consider a scenario in which a sophisticated cyber attack targets an airline's reservation system, resulting in widespread flight cancellations and delays. Such disruptions not only incur significant financial losses but also damage the airline's reputation and erode passenger confidence. The intricate nature of aviation networks and the interconnectivity of systems present formidable challenges in securing critical infrastructure against cyber threats, compelling airlines to address vulnerabilities in their software and systems. Insider threats and the changing strategies of cybercriminals who take advantage of vulnerabilities in digital defenses, along with the necessity to comply with regulatory frameworks such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, in Europe and the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, in the United States, contribute to the increasing complexity of cybersecurity management. Airlines and airports are required to invest in comprehensive cybersecurity frameworks, perform regular audits, and offer extensive training to their personnel to effectively mitigate risks. As the industry adopts digital innovations, including biometric identification, automated baggage handling, cloud-based operations, and predictive maintenance, the urgency for resilient cybersecurity measures intensifies. Collaborative initiatives among airlines, technology providers, and cybersecurity experts are vital to counter emerging threats and protect critical aviation infrastructure. In light of these challenges, industry stakeholders are emphasizing cybersecurity as a fundamental aspect of operational resilience. Investments in enhanced threat intelligence, real-time monitoring systems, and proactive incident response protocols are essential to defend against cyber threats and ensure seamless service delivery. The future of aviation relies on strong cybersecurity strategies that protect operations, safeguard passenger data, and maintain industry standards in an ever-evolving technological environment. The path forward will not be devoid of challenges, including workforce shortages, rising costs, stringent regulations, and cybersecurity risks, presenting a landscape as vast and complex as the skies themselves. Nevertheless, within these challenges lie opportunities for innovation, sustainability, and resilience. As the industry confronts these unprecedented hurdles, it must embrace the same spirit of innovation that has propelled it forward for decades, paving the way for a brighter and more sustainable future.